What if I told you that your baby, even before they can sit up, talk, or walk, is already building a memory of you? Not just your face, not just your voice, but the way you make them feel, the tone you use when you're tired, the warmth of your arms, and even the stress they sense in your body. Science has now proven something that changes everything. The first 3 years of a child's life are the most neurologically explosive period in all of human development. During this window, your baby's brain is forming over 1 million new neural connections every single second. 1 million per second. And here's the part that stops most parents in their tracks. The things you do every single day, the totally ordinary, unremarkable moments you probably don't even think about, are being recorded in the deepest parts of your baby's developing brain. These moments are literally wiring who your child will become. Coming up, I'm going to walk you through 10 of these everyday moments, and for each one, I'll tell you exactly what the science says and give you a simple, actionable step to make that moment count. You don't want to miss number 7. It's the one most parents get completely wrong. Before we dive in, if you're a parent, a grandparent, or someone who loves a baby, smash that like button right now. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss content like this. This community is built for parents who want to show up with intention. Now, before we get into the list, let me be clear about where this comes from. Everything in this video is grounded in peer-reviewed research from neuroscientists like Dr. Dan Siegel at UCLA, developmental psychologist Dr. Ed Tronick of Harvard, and the landmark work of Dr. John Bowlby on attachment theory. This isn't opinion. This is science. And it's science that every parent deserves to know. I'm not here to scare you or make you feel guilty. I'm here because I believe you are already doing an incredible job, and small, informed tweaks can make an extraordinary difference. So, let's get into it. Thing number 1, the sound of your voice. The science. Research from the University of Montreal published in the journal PNAS found that a mother's voice activates uniquely different and more powerful regions of a baby's brain than any other voice. From inside the womb, your baby has already been memorizing the rhythm, pitch, and melody of your speech. By birth, they recognize you. The everyday moment. Think about the last time you changed a diaper while scrolling your phone or gave a bottle while watching TV. Your voice, or the absence of it, registers in your baby's brain. Sarah, a first-time mom I spoke with, told me she felt exhausted and talked very little during the 3 a.m. feeds. She didn't know that those quiet, gentle whispers, even "I love you, little one," were building her daughter's language centers, one syllable at a time. Your action step: narrate your world. During routine care, baths, feeds, diaper changes, simply talk. Describe what you're doing. Now, I'm putting on your little socks. Look at those tiny feet. This practice, called sportscasting, accelerates language development and deepens bonding simultaneously. Drop a comment below. What's something you love saying to your baby every day? I read every single one. Thing number 2, eye contact. The science. A 2017 Cambridge University study found that when a parent and baby engage in mutual gaze, direct eye contact, their brainwaves literally synchronize. The same neural rhythms, the same oscillation frequency. You are, in the most literal sense, getting on the same wavelength as your child. The everyday moment. In our device-saturated world, eye contact is increasingly rare, even with our babies. Imagine baby Marcus sitting in his bouncer while dad answers emails. Dad is present, but his eyes are elsewhere. Marcus reaches out, babbles, tries again. When eye contact doesn't come consistently, babies learn a painful early lesson. I have to work hard to be seen. Your action step: practice the 10-second gaze. During feeding, or whenever you're holding your baby, deliberately make full, warm eye contact for 10 full seconds. Smile softly. Let them see that your whole world, in that moment, is them. Do this 3 to 5 times a day and watch how your baby begins to light up. We're only at number 2. Keep watching because number 5 is the one that research says impacts your child's emotional intelligence for their entire lifetime. Thing 3. How you respond when they cry. The science. Dr. Alan Shore at UCLA has spent decades studying what he calls affect regulation, how babies learn to manage emotions. His research is unambiguous. Responsive caregiving is the single most important factor in building a baby's emotional regulation system. When you consistently respond to your baby's cries, you are literally building the architecture of their stress response system. Babies who are responded to consistently develop what researchers call a flexible stress response. They learn that distress is temporary and that comfort is available. Babies who experience chronic unresponsiveness develop a hyperactivated stress system, one that stays switched on into childhood, adolescence, and even adulthood. The everyday moment. You cannot spoil an infant. Let that sink in. No credible modern research supports the idea that responding to a baby's cries creates dependency. The opposite is true. Responded to babies become more independent toddlers and children because their nervous system has learned that the world is safe. Your action step. When your baby cries and you cannot respond instantly, maybe you're on the phone or you have another child to attend to, use your voice first. Call out, "I hear you, sweetheart. Mama's coming." That voice, even across a room, begins to soothe their nervous system before you even touch them. If this is landing for you, please share this video with a new parent in your life. This information changes lives. Thing number 4. Physical touch and skin-to-skin. The science. The Touch Research Institute at the University of Miami under Dr. Tiffany Field has produced groundbreaking research showing that gentle, consistent touch stimulates the vagus nerve, lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and triggers the release of oxytocin in both parent and baby simultaneously. Touch is not comfort. Touch is biology. In one famous study, premature babies who received regular skin-to-skin contact, what researchers call kangaroo care, gained weight 47% faster, had fewer infections, and showed significantly advanced neurodevelopment compared to incubator-only care. The everyday moment. Consider baby Layla, born 3 weeks early. Her parents were hesitant about skin-to-skin because they were afraid of hurting her. But the NICU nurses encouraged them to hold her against their bare chest for just 1 hour a day. Within 2 weeks, Layla's brain activity on scans began resembling a full-term baby's. That is the power of touch. Your action step. Build in a dedicated skin-to-skin moment daily, even 15 minutes during a morning feed, before a nap, or during a quiet evening. For dads and partners, this works for you too. Baby doesn't just want mom. Baby wants you. Dads in the comments, have you tried skin-to-skin? Tell me about your experience. I want to hear from you. Thing number 5, your emotional state. The science. This is the one. Researchers at UC San Francisco discovered that babies as young as 6 months old detect cortisol, the stress hormone, in their mother's breast milk and bodily scent. Beyond biology, through a process called emotional contagion, babies' mirror neuron systems are constantly scanning your face, body, and breath for emotional information. They are reading you, every moment, to understand, is the world safe? Dr. Ed Tronick's legendary still face experiment demonstrates this perfectly. When a mother's face goes still and unresponsive for just 2 minutes, her baby first tries to re-engage her, then becomes distressed, and finally withdraws into a state of helpless shutdown, all within 120 seconds. 2 minutes. Your emotional presence is your baby's emotional oxygen. The everyday moment. This doesn't mean you must be relentlessly happy. Babies need to see the full range of human emotion expressed safely. What they cannot tolerate is emotional unavailability, the physically present but emotionally absent parent. If you're going through a hard season, acknowledge it out loud. Mama's having a tricky day, but I love you so much, and I'm right here. Your action step. Practice the 30-second regulation reset before you pick up your baby after a stressful moment. 3 deep breaths, shoulders down. Soft eyes. Then pick them up. You've just switched your nervous system from threat mode to connection mode, and your baby will feel the difference immediately. We're at the halfway point, and things are about to get even more powerful. Number 7 is something almost no one talks about, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. Thing number 6. Reading aloud. The science. A landmark study published in the journal Pediatrics scanned the brains of children who had been regularly read to from infancy. The areas associated with language, story comprehension, and imagination lit up dramatically more than in children who had not been read to consistently. By age 5, children who were read to daily from birth had heard approximately 1.4 million more words than children who were rarely read to, a gap that directly predicts literacy, academic success, and even income in adulthood. The everyday moment. Here's what's beautiful. The book almost doesn't matter. A baby under 12 months cannot follow a plot. What they're absorbing is the cadence of your voice, the warmth of being held, the left-to-right visual tracking across a page, the emotional safety of a ritual they can count on. Reading is not an academic exercise for infants. It is love made audible. Your action step. Read one book every night before bed. Just one. Make it part of your wind-down ritual. If you fall asleep partway through, honestly, so will your baby. And that's perfect. Thing number 7. Repair after conflict or tension. The science. Dr. Dan Siegel introduces the concept of rupture and repair, and he argues that repair may actually be more important than never rupturing at all. Research shows that parents who are able to reconnect with their baby after a moment of disconnection, a raised voice, a frustrated sigh, a moment of shutdown, actually build more resilient attachment than parents who try to be perfect all the time. Why? Because the baby learns that connection, once lost, can be restored. That is the definition of emotional resilience. The everyday moment. You will have moments of frustration. You will snap. You will be too tired to be the parent you want to be. Jake, a father of twins, told me he once put his babies down with more force than he intended during a colicky night, walked out of the room, breathed, and came back. He picked them back up, held them gently, and whispered, "I'm sorry. I lost it for a second. Daddy's here. You're safe." He wept telling me that story. And I told him that moment of repair was one of the greatest parenting moments of his life. Your action step. When you have a difficult moment with your baby, allow yourself 30 seconds to regulate, then return and reconnect physically. Pick them up, hold them close, breathe together. You do not need to explain it in words they understand. Your body does the explaining. This teaches your child that relationships survive hard moments. That is a gift that will protect them for life. This video is going out to every parent who is trying their best and wondering if it's enough. It is. Please like and share. This might be the most important 15 minutes another parent watches today. Thing number 8. Play and playfulness. The science. Dr. Stuart Brown, founder of the National Institute for Play, has spent his career documenting that play is not optional for brain development. It is biological necessity. During play, the brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine simultaneously, a cocktail of chemicals that strengthens neural pathways related to creativity, problem-solving, emotional flexibility, and social bonding. When you play peekaboo with your baby, you're not just being silly. You're teaching object permanence, anticipation, trust, and joy. Your action step. Give yourself 5 minutes of undistracted, on the floor, face-to-face play every single day. Follow your baby's lead. Whatever captures their attention, engage with it fully. Put your phone in another room. Be completely, deliciously present. 5 minutes of full presence beats an hour of distracted togetherness every time. What's your baby's absolute favorite game right now? Tell me in the comments. These answers always make my day. Thing number 9. Consistent routines. The science. The developing brain is a prediction machine. Research from the Max Planck Institute for Human Cognitive and Brain Sciences shows that routine and predictability are not just comforting for babies, they are cognitively essential. When a baby can predict what comes next, their prefrontal cortex develops more efficiently, their stress response stays regulated, and their sense of safety is reinforced. Chaos, even loving chaos, taxes the young brain's resources. The everyday moment. Routine doesn't mean rigid. It means recognizable. A baby who knows that bath follows dinner, and lullaby follows bath, and sleep follows lullaby, has a nervous system that can relax into what comes next. That relaxation is the state in which optimal brain development occurs. Your action step. Choose 3 anchors for your baby's day: morning, midday, and bedtime, and make them as consistent as life allows. Even on hard days, a familiar song, a familiar smell, lavender during bath time, or a familiar phrase, "Time for sleep, little love," signals safety to your baby's nervous system. Thing number 10, the words "I love you," said with meaning. The science. Here's where neuroscience and the heart intersect perfectly. When you say "I love you" to your baby with genuine warmth, accompanied by touch, eye contact, and a warm tone, their brain releases oxytocin, their heart rate slows, their cortisol drops, and their amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, quiets. You are literally administering medicine, the most powerful medicine on earth. And it's free. Dr. Bruce Perry, psychiatrist and author of The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog, argues that love expressed consistently through words, touch, and presence is the most potent protective factor against mental health challenges across the entire lifespan. Children who felt deeply loved in infancy are measurably more resilient, more empathetic, and more socially successful decades later. The everyday moment. I want you to think about Maya, a grandmother who raised her daughter in a generation when expressing love verbally wasn't common. She told me, with tears in her eyes, that she wishes she'd said the words more. Now she says them to her grandchildren constantly. She said, "I never want them to wonder. I want them to know." That's it. That's the whole thing. Your action step. Say it. Say it when you mean it. Say it when you're tired. Say it during the 3 a.m. feed. Say it during the difficult bath. Say it when they're screaming and you don't know what to do. Say, "I love you," because those 3 words, carried by your voice, are being written permanently into your baby's nervous system as their foundational understanding of what love looks and feels like. And that, right there, is the most important note we could end on. But don't go yet, because what comes next brings everything together. Let's land this plane together. 10 things you do every day that your baby will carry for the rest of their life. 1. The sound of your voice. Narrate your world. 2. Eye contact. Let them see they are your everything. 3. How you respond to crying. Every response builds their stress system. 4. Physical touch. Their biology depends on it. 5. Your emotional state. They are reading you constantly. 6. Reading aloud. Words are seeds planted in the mind. 7. Repair after conflict. Resilience is built in the reconnection. 8. Play. The most serious work a baby does. 9. Consistent routines. Predictability is safety. 10. Saying, "I love you," with meaning. The most powerful medicine on earth. You don't have to do all 10 perfectly. You don't have to do any of this perfectly. What your baby needs is not a perfect parent. What they need is you. Present, warm, trying, and willing to show up again even on the days when you fall short. That is enough. You're enough. The window is open right now. The brain is forming right now. And every tender, intentional moment you give your baby is becoming part of who they will be for the rest of their life. What a gift. What a profound, extraordinary gift you have the power to give. If this video moved you or taught you something, please like it right now. It takes 1 second, and it helps this message reach more parents who need it. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. We publish new parenting science content every week, and this community of intentional parents is one of the most beautiful corners of the internet. Leave a comment. Tell me, which of these 10 things are you going to focus on starting today? Or share this video with a parent you know who needs to hear it. Your share might be the best gift you give someone this week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring enough to watch a 15-minute video about how to love your baby better. That impulse, that desire to do right by your child, is itself an act of love. I'll see you in the next one.